Why Capital Games? Why? I put faith in you that we're going to improve the game. And this is what you do to me. Why you disgrace the Papa Palpatine family? There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. One last toot from the Papa Palpatine train before it gets derailed. Oh, bad news today. Seriously. Man, I don't know where this game is going right now. I am very concerned with Galaxy of Heroes right now. And of course, they might dig themselves out of this hole. I would suspect they will. But today is probably the nail in the coffin for some bad news consecutively, back to back to back. And today, that major nail to the coffin is Emperor Palpatine. I sung praises about him when the Darth Revan kit first came out. I'm like, Emperor Palpatine's going to be a counter to this. Then it does come out. I show you guys how Palpatine has been creaming Darth Revan. And all of a sudden, the brand new shiny Darth Malak comes in. And this is what we get, ladies and gentlemen. On the forums, moments ago, I was streaming. We had an awesome stream today. I showed Palpatine climbing arena with ease. I'm going, having a blast in Grand Arena. All of a sudden, people are like, yo, the update got announced on the forums, and my mood just tanked right away. The one thing about Emperor Palpatine is that he has the Papa Palpatine Express turn meter gain all across the board because of all the crazy amounts of debuffs being applied from Bastilla onto Revan, and because of all the ferocity that Revan himself is creating on his team. So Palpatine has been just an amazing counter, and it's because of turn meter. I thought when they announced the change a while ago that they were going to bring this change sometime soon. I talked about on Saturday how they might just want to maybe make Malak immune to shock, because when you shock Malak, he can't heal. I'm like, okay, maybe that's what they want to do. But no, they just went all out and flat out said, with Malak's ability now, Sith enemies can't gain bonus turn meter, but it excludes raid bosses, and that's a giant FU to Emperor Palpatine. It sucks. Instead of making Malak maybe a better character, they're just flat out nerfing the Emperor Palpatine counter to Darth Revan. And it's not hard to say why they're doing that. I mean, Emperor Palpatine is making their shiniest toy not look as pretty, because Palpatine, in my opinion, he is the best offensive team right now and a decent defensive team. I mean, look at this. Palpatine is slowly surpassing Jedi Knight Revan. He is the free-to-play player's dream counter free-to-play team out there. And I mean, look at this. The meta is so diverse right now. We have three major teams. We got Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan, and we also have Emperor Palpatine. Basically, it's rock, paper, scissors right here. I mean, pretty much all three of these teams can beat each other. We're in such a good state in Arena. I've been loving Arena. It's such a joy to play. And all of a sudden, they drop this on us, and it's like, why? As you can tell, when Revan came in, all of a sudden, I'm hitting #1 every single day because of how awesome Palpatine has been in Arena. And people who don't even have Darth Revan, they absolutely love the fact that Palpatine, one of the best free-to-play Zetas in the game, is becoming viable once more. And it just confuses me, because in the Road Ahead blog post, they talk about how they're going to try to build towards a rock, paper, scissors meta, how this is the targeted end state, but we're already here. We're already here, and they're going to sacrifice this because of Darth Malak, because Darth Malak is being outperformed by the Emperor of the Galactic Empire. It's absurd, and the impact doesn't just sit with Emperor Palpatine. It's a bit more beyond that, as we're going to talk about today. But I just kind of wanted to just start off with that big rant right there, because I don't see that many people happy about this, except people who just want to see Darth Malak be a shiny character. I think it's so important to make sure we have counters. And the problem with what they're doing right now, yes, you're going to nerf Palpatine to oblivion, whatever. But the problem is, you're going to bring us back to what Jedi Knight Revan was, possibly, where it's going to come down to who has the fastest mods, whereas Palpatine came back with who has the better strategy. And this is going to be bad, because if you go to a meta where it's going to come down to whose Bastille is one speed faster is going to determine the winner, that is not healthy for Arena. And this is where it's going to get annoying again, kind of like what we ran to with the Jedi Knight Revan meta, where everyone's running the same thing, and it's going to come down to who has that slightly faster character, who has that slightly more offense, where the meta should be diverse and strategy should be the predominating factor determining who should win most of the time, I would say. Furthermore, this is not just nerf Emperor Palpatine. It goes a bit more beyond, and this one kind of irritates me probably just as much. It affects other Siths. So the one that really gets under my skin a little bit too is Sith Assassin. I solely geared up Sith Assassin because I wanted to run a Sith Empire team with her potentially. And now with this change, Dark Shroud, because it grants bonus turn meter to the team, it's not going to work if Darth Malak is there. So I feel like I completely wasted time and effort gearing up Sith Assassin, because now she's not going to be useful as much in Arena so long as Darth Malak is on the other team. And of course, this also affects characters such as Darth Maul right here. Darth Maul obviously not as important, but it's going to shut down his Dancing Shadows leader ability. They're basically saying, nope, KOTOR Sith are supreme, all these other Sith are second tier, and it's a mess. So I'm still sitting at number 1 in Arena after doing my run on my live stream, but we're gonna go after this double Zeta Darth Malak right here. And Malak already has anti-Darth Vader stuff baked in. They probably saw how Palpatine and Vader were affecting the Darth Revan, and they're like, all right, maybe we could just add some anti-Vader stuff to make it work. And as you see here, when Vader applies that AoE at the beginning, he gets damage over time, which prevents him from getting a bonus turn to throw his Culling Blade. I get that. You can still get around it by just tossing in Sith Trooper instead of Darth Vader. So in case, you don't have Vader, their Darth Revan throws their fear over on Sith Trooper, which doesn't really do much to the rest of my team. So this is why they're wanting to fix it, because of how dominant Emperor Palpatine is. Like, just watch all this crazy turn meter we're going to get right now. We're going to trigger a bunch of fears and stuff like that. Just look at all that turn meter that we just gained right there. Their team's going to take a moment to finally get a chance to take a turn. There we go. More bonus turn meter. Just so much turn meter is just flying around the field. And I'm afraid that they're going to try to bring this to a point where some point where it's going to come down to who has that slightly faster Bastila Shan Fallen to apply Corrupted Battle Meditation. Who's going to have that slightly faster Darth Revan to apply Fear? I feel like this is where they're trying to head to, and it's not a healthy recipe for this game. Like, see, we're still running in circles. We're probably going to get an Annihilate off in a few moments here. We got another cooldown increase from Nihilus in the next turn. Let's see. We have a couple of shocks in the field. Let's put a shock over on Malak as well. Because shock, I thought they were going to just counter shock, because the shock prevents Malak from, besides taunting, it prevents him from even trying to heal with this special ability. Let's see, can we do this? Get some bonus damage right there. See, look, he did 2 of his drain life abilities back to back, and he wasn't able to do anything because of how powerful shock was. So I thought, fine, they'll just nerf how powerful shock is. But if you keep in mind, shock is also important for Darth Revan right now. So if you nerf shock, you're also going to nerf Darth Revan. So I get it's a tough predicament they're in, but I feel like there's so many other ways they could have went about this. So this is why they don't want Palpatine to remain supreme. And I'm really hoping that they find some way in the future to make Palpatine to kind of like compensate for this giant like slap in Palpatine's face. Maybe, the fact that we heard Palpatine's laugh at the end of the Episode 9 trailer, that might be an opportunity to make Palpatine better. But overall, this is why they want to do it. They want to make sure people who got Darth Malak feel like they got their money's worth out of it, which I get. They want to make him happy. I just feel like at this expense is quite too steep. And the other thing to keep in mind, a lot of people foregone the opportunity of spending money to get Darth Malak because they're like, why would I do that? Because Emperor Palpatine is such a fantastic counter. It's going to remain relevant. I wish they kind of announced that before the Darth Malak event ended, by the way, giving us only 3 days to do it and like 24 hours notice. That's a whole other problem that we got out here. But this guy, because they didn't design him too well, they're going to penalize other teams out there. It's a rough situation. It kind of is obvious that Palpatine is going to become a significant counter, and you would think when they do Darth Malak testing with Darth Revan, they would see this, because it's quite obvious right away that Palpatine was just a superior team to use up against Darth Revan. Whatever the case may be, I think overall this is not healthy for the balance of the game. I think this right here, what we have going on, is great, and the positive way to look at this, it's not much of a positive. It's a slightly lesser version of what we had before, but not everyone's going to have Malak. So I guess the good thing might be is that if you go up against a Darth Revan team without Malak, you could still run Emperor Palpatine. So I don't think they're going to do any sort of Zeta refunds. I don't think they should, because Emperor Palpatine, even before Darth Malak was in the picture, was still a fantastic Zeta to use. I used it every single time. And for people going up against non-Malak teams, the Palpatine Zeta will still be useful, but it's just, man. I don't know. It makes me a little bit concerned lately, because there's been a lot of stuff stacking up between the changes from the 8 nodes to the 5 hard node attempts, and they pretty much completely ignored the community. Even though there was a huge, the community bonded together on this. I mean, on YouTube alone, that video I made became the most liked video on YouTube, I believe, or at least very close, 1 or 2 likes away from the other most liked video, which is my video as well. I mean, even EA, they can't get that many likes on his Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. And then I read it, there was a lot of upvoted posts, most upvoted posts of all time. And then the forums also had a lot of stuff going on. So they completely ignored all that. And then the Darth Malak stuff came out where they need to make more money off the Revan situation. So they just jumped Malak out of nowhere. 24 hours notice, which goes against their week notice type of policy they typically like to give us. And then they added that power cap where you can't even try the event unless you hit a certain power cap. They only give you 3 days, and some people are busy on the weekends. They can't participate on these big events that require a lot of time on the weekends. So it's been a rough couple of big moments in Galaxy of Heroes, and I'm hoping that we kind of just pick up from this and maybe, or somehow they come back around and kind of compensate for Palpatine, maybe when they want to die down the Malak and Revan thing, because I'm just worried that they're going to come bring this meta into who has that 1 point faster character, and that's not a good meta to promote in this game. I don't know, guys. You let me know down below. I know I'm not the only one very concerned about this. When I saw the news in my live stream, I was just so upset about it. I saw a lot of disappointed people on there. Reddit's already blowing up. The forums are blowing up. Twitter's blowing up. My Discord's blowing up. This isn't a good thing. The only people benefiting this are people who just don't want these plebeian Palpatine free-to-play teams messing around with their Darth Malak lineup. It leaves me very concerned about the balanced choice they made there and the fact that my Sith assassin feels worthless now. I feel like I wasted time gearing her up, and I don't think they're going to compensate people who geared up Sith assassin in the past 2-3 weeks. That would be a great gesture if they did that. So comment down below, guys. I just want to make sure you guys are well aware of what's going on in the game right now. In case you guys are looking to keep gearing up Palpatine solely for countering Darth Revan and Darth Malak, I want to make sure you guys are well aware before you make that, before you invest in Palpatine or Zeta him, because this is a significant change. But overall, Palpatine is still going to be a good character, just not up against Darth Malak, unfortunately. We'll see. Maybe we'll see a day where they have to nerf Old Republic characters in exchange for the Galactic Republic or the Empire trying to become better. We'll see. We'll see, guys. Comment down below your thoughts. Like the video if you did enjoy it. I know the news isn't likable, but hopefully you like the message behind the video. And be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And until the next video. Yo, 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 yo.